Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Reazor. I'm a BSN RN. This is a brief introduction to me. I graduated from Delaware State University May 25th, 2005. So in May, I'm coming up on being an RN for 20 years. Over that time, I've held several different types of clinical certifications. I have BLS and ACLS. I've had SAMA. I've had CPI, TNCC, ENPC. Um, those kind of basic things that we do when we work bedside. I never took a certification exam like for critical care or med surg or ER. I had always planned to, but things always seemed to get in my way. So I was never able to do that. Um, Most of my clinical background has been critical care. I've been an ICU nurse, and that was medical, surgical, neuro, general purpose. I've also been a CVICU nurse. I have experience with LVAD and ECMO. CCU nurse. I've worked in the cardiac cath lab. I've been an ER nurse. I've been a PACU nurse, and I worked in IR, which is interventional radiology, and that kind of went hand in hand with cath lab. I've also done some electrophysiology. Um, I left bedside to go to clinical education. During that experience, I pretty much wrote the curriculum for a nurse residency program because when I came in, the program was not great. It was 6 weeks of sitting in front of a computer doing echo modules and then going out on the floor with your preceptor. So I added simulation lab training, didactic classroom, case studies. I gave each of them experiences outside of the department that they were going to be in so that they could get full patient experience from door to discharge. Some of them even got to go out with EMTs. It was a really fun experience for me. Um, I left that to go back to bedside because I got really sad and kind of missed being in the thick of things with taking care of patients. I left that to go into case management, and I did a short stint as a clinical educator for a medical device company. I traveled during COVID as an ICU nurse, got burnt out, decided to leave bedside, and I got into quality management, risk accreditation, and compliance. And that's what I've been doing the last 4 years. And it's been pretty exciting. I've had a good time with it. So 2024 kind of threw a monkey wrench into my life plans. In October, I got laid off from my job. I had only been in the job for 6 months. I left my position as a director of quality management to go to a much larger institution here in North Texas to be a quality manager working right underneath the director. Um, 414 beds, 19 off campuses. Really thought this was going to be a huge opportunity for me to learn new things and really boost my resume, and it did not work out that way. Fortunately, I did get to learn a lot of things. The 6 months that I was there, we went through 7 different survey processes. One of them was our Joint Commission triannual, for which there were conditional findings. So I also got to go through a conditional survey, which was a new experience for me because I had never been in an institution where we had conditional findings. I got to write the action plan for that and was really involved in writing the plan to implement that action plan. It was all very exciting, but unfortunately left me unemployed, for which I still am. Still looking for a job here in 2025, although it is looking better than it was at the end of 2024. So I hope that in this future soon here I will have a new position. What do I hope to learn and gain from this class? Well, I have had the opportunity to serve on a couple of ethics committees, and you don't get a lot of training. They pretty much give you a packet that you read through, and there's some online competency things that you do, and that's pretty much it. You're now able to be on the committee. And I feel like, especially in smaller institutions, we don't really understand what we're doing in the ethics committee. And there's a lot of questions, and a lot of times the physicians don't even want to meet because they don't there's a gray area of what's ethical and what's legal. And I think that as practitioners, a lot of us struggle with what that is. And unfortunately, a lot of times they don't seem to be in tune with one another. So I would like to get a better understanding of those gray issues and how to navigate. The other thing is the federal regulations, which I'm pretty versed in CMS and the things that are here in the state of Texas. Although I will say when I came to the state of Texas 12 years ago, it was very eye-opening because things in Texas were very different from the state that I had come from and even states that I had worked in the past. So I would like to get a better understanding of the differences between federal regulations and state regulations and when one would supersede the other. Um, I do have plans for my future. I'd like to be a business owner, and I'd also like to have a more solid foundation to regulatory risk compliance, um, legal and ethical principles and standards to kind of build on my own knowledge base. I am working toward my CPHQ. Um, there are study materials for that, and I'm doing pretty well with those. But if you haven't had a solid training and background to begin with, it can be a little daunting. And I have found in recent years that orientation just is not what it used to be. So for my quality role, I kind of literally just kind of got thrown to the fire and I've been figuring it out on my own. So it's nice to have some formal education and training and someone that I could actually ask some questions to. So um, I'm really excited for that. What are my career goals? Well, my short term goal is to find another position. This has been harder than I thought. I've been unemployed since the end of October. Um, it's been a little unnerving and a little bit of a shake to my confidence, but I've probably had about 47 interviews since October. Some of them were multi-level. Some of them were 3 and 4 interviews, and still no position. But I'm hopeful, and it's looking a little bit more promising now that we're in the new year. So that's my short-term goal is to find another job. My midterm goal is to finish my MBA. This is not my first time attempting a master's degree. Over the years, things have just always gotten in the way. This time around, I'm determined I'm not going to allow life to get in the way. I'm going to finish this 2026. I will be finished, and I'm hoping to use it as a springboard to help me to move into a higher leadership position in a healthcare related field. I don't know what that looks like right now. Um, Maybe not a hospital. Hopefully not a hospital. I'd like to kind of transition away from the hospital. There are so many things opening up in healthcare these days, and I would really like to spread my wings and do something different and take my expertise and use it in a different way. Long term, I want to own my own business. I want to have a residential assisted living facility, maybe a few. We have a really excellent one here in North Texas that is just phenomenal. I got the opportunity to walk through um, for some patients of ours in the facility that I was working at that we were trying to transition there, and I was just blown away. And I would love to be able to provide those kind of services. The other thing that I'm looking at is a personal health care advocate consulting business. I have 3 friends who actually do this, and I met them through my stint at rehab. Um, there are so many older people who chose not to have families, who, as they transition into their later years, they don't have anybody. And that's actually becoming a problem as they enter end of life. And so I would like to be one of those people that can provide services to people in a situation like that so that they know that their final requests are going to be taken care of. My long term goal is that I would really like to get involved as a member of a healthcare institution board of directors. I would love to be invited to participate in a healthcare and policy think tank, board, or advocacy group for the government, federal or state, possibly even an international organization. Um, I really like public policy. I know that sounds crazy, but I guess that's the quality person in me. I really enjoy it, and I would love to be able to help make sound healthcare policy um, on a broader field than just one institution. A little about me personally. Well, I'm married. My husband and I will be married in July for 26 years. We have 4 children. Uh, Elijah, he's in that holding up the family Husker picture. He's my college student right now. He's a freshman at Nebraska Lincoln. Noah, who's standing under the lion. He's my high school freshman. The one in the middle with the puppy dog, that's my grandbaby Jonah. The picture on the bottom is me and my two daughters. Ariel's on the end and Tiffany's in the middle. The puppy down on the bottom, that's my Vasily, and he's my doggy. And then the one in the corner is me and my husband. I enjoy spending time with my family. I love to cook for them. I like to make all of their favorite things to eat, especially on holidays and their birthdays. I am a foodie. I love food. I go on vacation to eat. It is just something that I enjoy doing. I love food. I like to talk about food. I have an extensive cookbook collection. I have cookbooks from the 1700s because I do. I love food, and everything about food. And the funny thing is my college student is a food science major. So I guess it rubbed off on him too. I like to read. I do a lot of reading in my spare time. I read all kinds of things, fiction, nonfiction. I like history. Um, I am very active in local politics here where I live. I do hold a really minor elected office here in my county. I'm also a volunteer deputy register in my county for I can register people to vote, and I work the elections when I get a chance. Me and my husband do that together. He was actually an election judge in 2020. Um, Other than that, I've been really busy with children. They're starting to leave the nest. I only have really one left, and that's Noah. Elijah's in college, and Ariel and Tiffany have moved off. Our Tiffany moved away in November. She's in North Carolina now, so we don't get to see her or Jonah as often as we would like, but we have plans to see them hopefully for spring break. Um, and that's me. I'm pretty basic, but I'm pretty happy and really excited to be in this class.